Prologue. Darkness fell within the storyteller's room, the pain and light of day diminishing, though the heat remained, absorbed and surrendered from countless clay walls and tiled roofs. Nightfall. He relished the dying of the light, the way the sun that blinded him slid beneath the horizon with all the desperate clinging of a drowning child. Somewhere within the confluence of memories within his mind, a twinge of regret flashed through him like an unexpected strike of lightning. He ignored the stray emotion without so much as a grimace to mark its passing. Such vestiges of humanity manifested themselves less often as time passed, but the emotion served to remind him of his limitation and strengthened his resolve to conquer it. Until he could bend creation to his will, he would have to adapt. For now. Rising from his bed, he removed the outermost cloth shielding his eyes from the unbearable brightness of day. The other, thinner cloth he left in place. It would allow him to function in the lantern light of the expensive restaurant and tavern below. But there was another more important reason that had nothing to do with his disguise or the girl's expectations. He grabbed the polished cane by the door and ventured into the hallway, thumping the wood on the floor with the regular rhythm of a blind man searching his way. The stairs had been split into sets of 9, and he smiled. Of all those walking on the northern continent, only he and another knew the import of that number, knew its importance in relationship to the other 2 mentioned in the exordium. A pop and flare from the fire in the center of the room caught him by surprise, and he squeezed his eyes shut against the pane, his cane serving its pretended purpose for a moment. He took the shadowed table at the back of the tavern, the one most shielded from the fire and lanterns. She came through the front entrance as he'd instructed her, when the last ray of light had vanished from the spire of the grand cathedral. It was a trivial exercise, but it served to reinforce the unquestioning obedience he would require, and it provided the time necessary to arrive before her and prepare the wine. She noted the dagger he'd placed on the table before him, but said nothing. Attractive, she responded to power and drink as courtesans and sycophants had responded for countless millennia, with near worship of those who exercised dominion over them. "Greetings, Magdalene," he said with a self-deprecating smile. "Do you never tire of an old man's stories?" "Never." Flattered to think that her presence pleased him so much, she laughed, gazing at him with devotion. Despite his intimate familiarity, the library here in Vadras, the chief city in Kaisel, had proven difficult to penetrate, the sanctum where the priest stored the oldest writings even more so. In the end, he'd had to use a series of disposable intermediaries with instructions on which texts to find. Even then, it had taken weeks to gather the names of those minor personages, individuals without fame or acclaim, who lived within the city and owned the particular gift he required. A pure gift would have been simpler. The memories would have taken less time, the emotional responses more intense from the outset, but the end result would be the same, and for his purposes a partial gift served him better. Those with full gifts, in their arrogance, they misnamed this parceling, this division, something so far less than what it had been, attracted attention. He required something less, a partial gift, whose owner moved freely and randomly through the city and court, one of the countless faces who'd left family and friends behind to make the journey to the second-largest city on the continent. Someone whose disappearance would go unnoticed until it was too late. Magdalene, he forced himself to remember her name only because it flattered her that he bothered to know it, leaned forward, anticipating his tale. Her bare hand extended across the corner of the table, her offer implicit in the coy smile and tilt of her head. "Tell me the story again," she smiled. "The one about me. You never finished it." "Well," he lifted